Chapter 1. The Missing Mjolnir. In the realm of Asgard, where the Aesir dwell, the morning light revealed a most unsettling scene. The air, usually filled with the songs of Valkyries and the clang of celestial forges, was heavy with an ominous silence. The gods, who strode with purpose and pride, now gathered in a huddle of confusion and concern. For the mighty Thor, the fiercest of warriors and the protector of Asgard, had awoken to find his hammer, Mjolnir, missing from his side. The absence of the hammer was no trivial matter. Mjolnir was not merely a weapon but a symbol of Thor's power, a guardian of the realms, and a bulwark against the forces of chaos. Its enchantments were such that it would return to Thor's hand after being thrown, and none but the god of thunder could lift it. Without it, the balance between the worlds stood threatened, and the gods felt the tremors of vulnerability. Thor, his face as stormy as the skies he commanded, turned his chambers upside down, his frustration growing with each passing moment. The other gods watched, wary and silent, knowing that the hammer's disappearance could spell disaster for all of them. It was Loki, the trickster god, who broke the silence with a sly grin, suggesting that only a being of great cunning and audacity would dare to steal from Thor. The gods convened in the great hall of Valhalla, their faces etched with concern. Odin, the All-Father, sat upon his throne, his one eye piercing the gloom as he listened to the counsel of his children. It was decided that Loki, with his silver tongue and penchant for mischief, would be best suited to uncover the truth behind the theft. Disguised as a falcon, Loki took to the skies, his keen eyes searching the realms for any sign of the missing hammer. He flew over Midgard, the realm of mortals, and Jotunheim, the land of giants, where the mountains loomed like frozen waves and the air crackled with ancient magic. It was there, in the cold heart of Jotunheim, that Loki spied a great feast within the hall of Thrym, the giant king. The hall was alive with revelry, the giants boasting of their strength and cunning. And there, in the place of honor, lay Mjolnir, its handle wrapped in chains of gold, a prize for the king who had outwitted the gods. Loki, with the stealth of a shadow, slipped into the hall and overheard Thrym boasting to his kin. The giant king declared that he would not return the hammer unless the goddess Freya was given to him in marriage, a ransom of love for the weapon of war. With this knowledge, Loki returned to Asgard, his feathers ruffled by the winds of Jotunheim. The gods gathered once more to hear the trickster's tale, and a plan began to take shape, a plan that would require deception, bravery, and the most unlikely of disguises. Thus began the quest to reclaim the missing Mjolnir, a tale that would be sung for ages to come, of how the god of thunder would don a veil and gown to win back his beloved hammer from the clutches of the giant Thrym. Chapter 2. Bride of Thunder. In the hallowed halls of Asgard, a plan most daring was hatched. The gods, in their wisdom, knew that the giant Thrym's demand could not be met. Freya, the most beautiful of goddesses, would not be bartered away like a trinket. Yet, the hammer must be retrieved, for the safety of the realms was at stake. It was Heimdall, the ever-watchful guardian of the Bivarist, who proposed a ruse so bold that it set the Aesir abuzz with a mix of shock and amusement. "Let Thor himself be the bride," he suggested, his voice steady as the stars he gazed upon each night. "Let the thunder god don the bridal gown and veil, and in the guise of Freya, reclaim Mjolnir from the unsuspecting Thrym." The hall erupted in laughter at the thought of the burly Thor, with his fiery beard and fierce demeanor, dressed as a delicate bride. But as the chuckles subsided, the gods realized the brilliance of the plan. Thor, though reluctant and bristling with pride, knew his duty to the realms outweighed his discomfort. With a grumble like distant thunder, he consented to the scheme. Loki, ever the master of disguises, took charge of the transformation. He procured the finest gown, one that shimmered like the northern lights, and a veil that could obscure the mightiest of storms. Thor's muscular frame was adorned with jewels and gold, and his hammer's absence was replaced with the soft jingle of bridal keys. To complete the illusion, Loki would accompany him as his bridesmaid, ensuring the ruse held firm. The gods worked through the night, their laughter echoing as they beheld the sight of Thor, the mightiest among them, now the bride of thunder. As dawn approached, the pair set out for Jotunheim, the rainbow bridge of Bivrist shimmering beneath their feet. Upon reaching the land of giants, Thrym was overjoyed at the sight of his bride-to-be. The wedding feast was grand, the hall filled with giants eager to witness the union. Thrym's eyes gleamed with greed and triumph as he welcomed the veiled figure, believing his ploy had succeeded. The feast was raucous, the giants' laughter booming like avalanches. Thor, in his bridal guise, ate with a voracity that shocked the onlookers, consuming entire oxen and barrels of mead. Thrym, bemused by his bride's appetite, leaned in and lifted the veil, only to recoil at the sight of the glaring eyes that burned like lightning beneath. Loki, quick with his wit, explained away the bride's fiery gaze as sleeplessness caused by her eagerness for the wedding. Thrym, blinded by his desire, accepted the explanation and called for Mjolnir to be brought forth to bless the union. As the hammer was laid in the lap of the bride, the ruse reached its crescendo. Thor's fingers closed around the familiar handle, and in a flash of divine retribution, he cast off his bridal finery. The thunder god stood revealed, his eyes alight with the storm's fury. Chaos erupted as Thor swung Mjolnir with righteous wrath, the giants' roars of surprise drowned out by the crack of thunder. One by one, they fell before the might of the god of thunder, their dreams of conquest shattered like glass. With Mjolnir restored to its rightful owner, Thor and Loki made their way back to Asgard, their mission accomplished. The gods welcomed them with cheers, and the tale of the Bride of Thunder was woven into the tapestry of legend, a story to be told with mirth and awe for generations to come. As the dust settled in the great hall of Thrym, the echoes of battle faded into a profound silence. Thor, his grip on Mjolnir unyielding, stood amidst the remnants of his foes, the air crackling with the residual energy of his divine might. The god of thunder had reclaimed his hammer, and with it, the balance of power was restored. The journey back to Asgard was one of triumph, the Bivrist arching across the sky like a victorious banner. Upon their return, the gods greeted Thor and Loki with a jubilation that resonated through the golden halls. The Aesir reveled in the success of their daring plan, their laughter mingling with the melodious strains of harps and the rhythmic beat of drums. In the aftermath of the celebration, a sense of peace descended upon Asgard. The gods, reassured by the return of Mjolnir to its rightful place at Thor's side, turned their attention once more to the governance of the realms. The mortals of Midgard, though unaware of the events that had transpired, felt a subtle shift, a lifting of the weight that had pressed upon their world. Thor, his honor and strength reaffirmed, resumed his watchful guardianship. The hammer, an extension of his will, was once again a symbol of hope and a deterrent to those who would seek to disrupt the cosmic order. The god of thunder had proven that not by might alone, but by wit and courage, could the greatest of challenges be overcome. And so, the tale of the Bride of Thunder passed into legend, a story to inspire and entertain. It was a reminder that even the gods could find themselves in the most unexpected of circumstances, and that through unity and cleverness, they could emerge victorious. The hammer was restored, and with it, the assurance that as long as the Aesir stood together, the realms would remain under their vigilant protection.